Wait! I want to make a photo of this beautiful coffee.
Oh, John, stop right there. If you say make a photo while traveling abroad, people might look a bit confused.
Really? But I want to sound natural.
Then you need natural English for travel. Today, we'll help you gain speaking confidence for international travel by fixing these common mistakes together.
Aha! That sounds perfect. I am ready.
Hello, everyone. I'm Emily.
And I'm John. Welcome back to Fluent English Daily.
So, John, we were just talking about your coffee. You said you wanted to make a photo, right?
Yes, Emily, it sounds right to me because I am creating the picture with my phone.
I understand why you think that. In many languages, the word is the same, but to use natural English for travel, we have to change that habit. We always say, take a photo.
Take, like take a bus.
Exactly. It is one of those common English collocations for tourists that can be tricky. We take a taxi, we take a bus, and we take a photo.
Okay. So if I am in a beautiful park in London, I should say, I want to take a photo of the trees.
Perfect. You sound so much more natural already. When you say make a photo, people will understand you, but they will know you are translating from your own language. If you want to know how to sound like a native speaker abroad, take is your best friend.
Wow, it is a small change, but it feels big. I want to have good speaking confidence for international travel. Does it work for everything? What about a video?
Great question, John. Yes, you take a video, or you can say record a video, but take is very common. I'm going to take a video of this street performer.
Aha, I see. So take a photo and take a video.
Right, let's practice a bit more. Imagine we're at the Eiffel Tower. What do you say?
I look at the tower and I say, Emily, can you take a photo of me?
Yes, exactly. And if you ask a stranger, you would say the same thing. This is one of the most important travel English conversation tips. If you walk up to someone and say, "Could you make a photo of me?" they might be a little confused for a second.
I see. They might think I want them to draw a picture.
Maybe, or they just realize you are still learning. But when you say take, it is smooth, it flows, it shows you know the natural English for travel.
Okay, I am starting to feel it. Let's try another one. What if I am at a museum?
Good one. In a museum, you might see a sign. It won't say no making photos. It will say no flash photography or please do not take photos.
Oh, I have seen those signs. I never noticed the word take before.
That is the secret, John. Once you know the right word, you will see it everywhere. This is how you build speaking confidence for international travel. You start noticing the patterns.
I like that. Patterns make it easier. So, take is for photos. Are there other take words for travel?
Oh, many. You take a break, you take a seat, you take a walk.
Wait, take a walk? I thought it was go a walk.
Close. You can go for a walk or take a walk. Both are very natural.
Take a walk sounds very nice. Let's take a walk by the river.
Perfect. You are really getting the hang of these common English collocations for tourists.
I feel better. I always worried that I sounded like a textbook. I want to sound like a real person.
And you do. Using take a photo versus make a photo correctly is a huge step. It's a very common mistake, even for advanced learners. So if you fix it now, you are ahead of the game.
Haha, I like being ahead. But Emily, sometimes I get nervous. When I see a local person, my mind goes blank.
That's normal. Everyone feels that way. That's why we practice these travel English conversation tips. If you repeat the phrase, "Can you take a photo?" 20 times today, your mouth will remember it even if your brain is nervous.
Ha ha ha, my mouth has its own memory. I like that idea. Can you take a photo? Can you take a photo?
Yes, exactly like that. Let's imagine another scenario. You're in a beautiful cafe in Rome. The light is perfect. Your pasta looks amazing. What do?
I reach for my phone and I say, I need to take a photo of this pasta before I eat it.
Excellent. And then you might ask the waiter, "Excuse me, could you take a photo of us?"
Right. And the waiter will say sure, because I used the right word.
Exactly. It makes the conversation easy. When you use the words people expect to hear, the communication is much faster. That's how to sound like a native speaker abroad. You use the expected words.
Expected words. That makes sense. It's like a code.
Yes, a very friendly code.
Haha.
So we have take a photo. Are there any other make mistakes I should watch out for?
Well, sometimes people say make a question.
But isn't that right? I am making a question in my head. I know. But in natural English for travel, we ask a question.
Oh, of course. Ask a question. I know that one. Why did I want to say make?
Because make feels like create, but English uses ask, just like we take photos.
Ask a question. Take a photo. It's starting to stick.
Good. Let's go back to photos for a second. What if you want to use a big camera, not a phone? Does it change?
Is it still take?
Yes, I love taking photos with my professional camera. It doesn't matter what tool you use, the action is always taking.
I see. Wow, I feel much more prepared for my trip next month.
I'm so glad. Speaking confidence for international travel isn't about knowing every word in the dictionary. It's about knowing the right words for the things you do every day. And what do tourists do every day?
Haha, they take a lot of photos.
Exactly. They take photos of monuments, they take photos of food, and they take photos of each other.
I am going to be the king of taking photos in Italy.
I believe you. Just remember, if you catch yourself saying make, just stop, smile, and correct yourself. People love it when they see you trying to be natural.
That's a good tip. It's okay to make a mistake as long as I try to fix it.
Precisely. Even native speakers make mistakes sometimes. The goal is to be understood and to feel comfortable.
I feel much more comfortable now. I was actually a bit embarrassed about my make a photo comment earlier.
Oh, John, don't be. That is how we learn. Every mistake is just a step toward natural English for travel.
Thanks, Emily. You always make me feel better about my English.
That's what I'm here for. Now, let's think. If you wanted to tell someone about your trip later, would you say, "I made many photos"?
No, I would say, I took so many photos on my vacation.
Yes, perfect. You've got it.
Haha, I feel like a pro.
You are a pro. Now, there's another word people often confuse when they are traveling. It's about how we move from one place to another.
Oh, is it about taking a bus again?
Not exactly, but it's related to how we describe our experiences. But before we get into that, I want to make sure you really feel good about this take versus make thing.
I do. I really do. It's about the connection between the words. Common English collocations for tourists are like little pairs of friends that always go together. Take and photo are best friends.
I love that. They are best friends. Don't try to separate them.
I won't. I will keep them together.
Good, because when you keep them together, your speaking confidence for international travel will grow every single day.
I can feel it growing already. It's funny how one small word can change how I feel about speaking.
It really can. It's the difference between feeling like a guest and feeling like you belong.
I want to belong. I want to talk to people and not worry.
And you will. You are doing great. Now, let's look at a few more examples of take before we move on to our next travel tip.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Okay, imagine you're at a hotel check-in desk.
You know, John, we just talked about the difference between take a photo and make a photo.
Yes, Emily, I am trying to remember that. It is take, like taking a bus or taking a seat. It feels a bit strange at first, but I can feel it becoming more natural.
That is exactly what we want. And that leads us to a very special word I want to talk about today. It is a big word, but the idea is very simple. The word is collocation.
What? That sounds very difficult, Emily. Is it a grammar rule?
No, don't worry. It is not a scary grammar rule. Think of common English collocations for tourists as word partners. Some words in English are just best friends. They always like to hang out together.
Word partners? Oh, I like that. So take and photo are best friends?
Exactly. They are a perfect pair. When you use these partners correctly, you sound much more relaxed. It is one of our best travel English conversation tips. If you say, make a photo, the words are like strangers who don't know each other. But take a photo sounds like they have known each other forever.
Aha! Thoughtful. So instead of learning every single word alone, I should learn the partners, like take a walk or take a break.
Yes, you are getting it. When you travel, knowing these partners helps you find natural English for travel. It makes your brain work less hard because you don't have to choose every word. You just grab the pair and say it.
That makes me feel much better. Sometimes when I'm in a new city, I feel so nervous. I'm always thinking, which word do I use? And then I stop talking.
I understand. That brings us to another important phrase, speaking confidence for international travel. Confidence isn't about being perfect, John. It is about feeling safe to try.
But Emily, I want to sound like a native speaker abroad. I don't want people to think I am a tourist who doesn't know anything.
Let's look at that phrase, how to sound like a native speaker abroad. To many people, that means speaking very fast or using slang. But for us, sounding native just means sounding natural and clear. It means using those word partners we talked about.
So if I say take a photo instead of make a photo, I'm already sounding more like a native speaker.
Exactly. It is the small things. If you walk into a cafe and say, "Can I take a coffee to go?" instead of, "Can I make a coffee for travel?" people understand you instantly. It feels smooth.
Smooth. I like that word. It feels like a calm river.
What a beautiful way to say it, John. What a beautiful way to say it, John. Smiles. Let's review our third important term, conversation tips. When we talk about travel English conversation tips, we are talking about little tools you can use.
Like a map or a compass.
Yes. For example, a great tip is to use could I have or I would like. These are polite and natural. When you combine these with your word partners, you have a lot of power in your conversation.
So if I want to use my speaking confidence for international travel, I should use my tools and my word partners together.
You've got it. Supportive. Imagine you are in London or New York. You see a beautiful building. You don't say, I make a photo. You say, excuse me, could you take a photo of me?
Oh, that sounds so much better. Could you take a photo of me? It feels easy.
Right? And when the other person says, sure, you feel that speaking confidence grow. You did it. You had a real, natural moment with another person.
Wow, I see now. It is not about a big dictionary. It's about these small, natural English for travel pieces. It's like a puzzle.
It is exactly like a puzzle. And today, we're putting the pieces together slowly. We have collocations, our word partners. We have confidence, the feeling in your heart. And we have native sounds, the natural way we speak.
I feel much more relaxed now, Emily. I was so worried about making photos, but taking photos sounds much more fun.
It is fun. Traveling should be about joy, not about worrying if your grammar is 100% correct. If you use take a photo, you're using one of the most common English collocations for tourists. It's a gold star for you.
A gold star. I haven't had one of those since I was a boy.
Well, you deserve one today. You are learning how to sound like a native speaker abroad by listening and being open. That is the best way to learn.
Uh-huh. So if I'm in a restaurant and I want to use a partner, do I say take a meal or have a meal?
Great question. Usually we say have a meal or have some food. Take is very common for photos, breaks, and transport. Each word has its own best friend.
I see. It's like a big party where everyone has a best friend.
What a funny image. Yes, a big party of words. And we're here to introduce you to all the guests.
Thank you, Emily. This really helps my speaking confidence for international travel. I feel less like a student and more like a traveler.
That's the goal, John. A traveler who can talk to anyone. So we have talked about our words, we have take a photo, our collocations, and our confidence.
Right. And I will remember not to make the photo unless I'm actually printing it or painting it.
Oh, that is a very good point. If you're an artist and you're painting, you might make a picture. But with a camera, it's always take.
I'm learning.
You really are. Softly. I think we should talk more about how to use these in real situations. It's one thing to know the word, but it's another to use it when you're standing in front of the Eiffel Tower or a small coffee shop in Rome.
Yes, I want to know what to say next. After I take the photo, what happens next?
That is a perfect question. Let's think about that for a moment. When we are abroad, the conversation doesn't stop after one sentence. It keeps going, like a walk in a park.
I'm ready for that walk, Emily. I have my camera ready to take many photos.
Perfect. Well, before we move on to our next part, I want to ask our listeners a question. Have you ever said, make a photo, and seen a confused face? Don't worry, we've all been there. It's part of the journey.
Yes, don't be afraid. We are all learning together.
Exactly. And if you like these tips, make sure to stay with us. We are going to look at some very common situations where these word partners really save the day.
I can't wait. I want to hear more travel English conversation tips.
Then let's keep going. We have more to explore, and I want to make sure you feel totally ready for your next trip.
Let's do it. I'm feeling more natural already.
That's the spirit, John. Let's look at how we can use these natural expressions when we're actually talking to people on the street or in a shop. It's going to be very helpful for your speaking confidence. You know, John, learning about collocations is like learning the secret code of a language. It makes everything easier.
I agree, Emily. It is like having the right key for a door. Once I know take a photo is the right key, I don't have to think about it anymore.
Exactly. And because I want you to feel really comfortable, I think we should do some practice together.
Oh, practice? Like a game?
Yes, exactly. We call this shadowing. I will say a simple sentence using our key words for today. Then you repeat it after me. We will do it slowly so you can really feel the words.
I like that. So I just listen and then copy you?
That is right. And for everyone listening at home or on the bus, please join us. Say the words out loud with John. It builds your speaking confidence for international travel.
Okay, I'm ready. Let's start.
Great. Let's start with the most important one. Listen first. Can you take a photo of me, please?
Okay. Can you take a photo of me, please?
Perfect. Let's try it again, John. This time, focus on the word take. Make it smooth. Can you take a photo of me, please?
Can you take a photo of me, please? Wow, that feels much more natural than saying make a photo.
It really does. Now, let's try a sentence about why we are here. Listen, I am learning natural English for travel.
I am learning natural English for travel.
Very good. Let's do it one more time. Remember, we want to sound relaxed. I am learning natural English for travel.
I am learning natural English for travel. Oh, I like how that sounds. It makes me feel like I'm already on a trip.
You're getting there, John. Now let's use a longer one. This one is about our goals. Listen, I want to learn travel English conversation tips.
That is a bit long. Let me try. I want to learn travel English conversation tips.
Don't worry, John. Take a breath. Gently. It is okay to be slow. Try it again with me. I want to learn travel English conversation tips.
I want to learn travel English conversation tips. Aha, I did it.
Yes, you did. You see, the more you say it, the easier it gets. This is how you gain speaking confidence for international travel.
It is true. My mouth feels more comfortable now. What's next, Emily?
Let's try this one. It's about how we want to sound when we talk to people. Listen, I want to sound like a native speaker abroad.
I want to sound like a native speaker abroad.
Wow, John, your pronunciation was great there. Do you want to try it again?
Yes, I want to sound like a native speaker abroad. I think the word abroad is very useful.
It really is. It just means in a different country. Now, let's practice a sentence with that big word we learned earlier. Listen, common English collocations for tourists are very helpful.
Common English collocations for tourists are very helpful.
Exactly. Let's try that one more time, but a little bit faster. Just a little bit. Common English collocations for tourists are very helpful.
Common English collocations for tourists are very helpful. Oh, I see. When I say them together, they sound like one big piece of information.
Exactly. That is the secret of natural English for travel. You don't say every word separately. You say them in groups.
Like a family of words.
I love that. A family of words. Okay, let's do one more. This one is about how you feel. Listen, I have speaking confidence for international travel.
I have speaking confidence for international travel.
One more time, John. Say it with a big smile. I have speaking confidence for international travel.
Haha, I really do feel more confident now.
I can hear it in your voice. You're doing such a great job. And for everyone practicing with us, I hope you feel it too.
You know, Emily, at first I was afraid of making mistakes, but saying these sentences out loud makes the fear go away.
That's the best way to learn. Mistakes are just part of the journey. The goal is to be understood and to feel safe while you speak.
Right. Take a photo instead of make a photo. That was my first big lesson today.
And you're doing so well with it. Gently, let's try one last review of our primary phrase, just to be 100% sure.
Okay, I'm ready.
I want to take a photo of this moment.
I want to take a photo of this moment.
It is natural English for travel.
It is natural English for travel.
Wonderful. How do you feel, John?
I feel calm. I feel ready to go to a museum or a park and ask someone to help me with a picture.
That's the spirit. You know, practice is the bridge between knowing a word and actually using it.
Yes, I knew the word take, but I didn't use it with photo. Now they're friends in my head.
Friends in your head. I love your expressions today, John.
Haha, well, I'm learning from the best.
Oh, you are too kind. Now, before we move on, I want to tell our listeners something important.
What is it?
If you're enjoying this practice, please follow our podcast. We love having you here in our little coffee shop chat. It helps us reach more people who want to find their speaking confidence for international travel.
Yes, please follow us. It makes me very happy to know we're practicing together.
And don't go away just yet. We have more to talk about.
Really? What else is there?
Well, we talked about photos, but what happens when we go to a restaurant? There are some common mistakes there, too.
Oh, like when I want to order food?
Exactly. We need to make sure we sound just as natural there as we do when we're taking photos.
I see. I don't want to say I make an order if that's wrong.
We will talk about that in just a moment. Let's take a quick breath first. That was such great practice, John. You are really starting to use natural English for travel without even thinking about it.
I am trying, Emily. It feels good to know the right words. I want to use these travel English conversation tips correctly when I am on vacation.
That is the best way to learn. And now it is time for my favorite part of the show. It is the question of the day.
Aha! I am ready. What is our big question today?
Since we are talking about how to sound like a native speaker abroad, here is the question for our listeners. What is one thing you always want to take a photo of when you are traveling?
Oh, that is a perfect question. It helps everyone practice those common English collocations for tourists we learned.
Exactly. Let's give our listeners 5 example answers to help them build their speaking confidence for international travel.
Okay, I'll go first. Example 1. I always take a photo of the local food because it looks like art.
Yes, food photos are the best. Example 2. I love to take a photo of the sunset at the beach because the colors are beautiful.
I see. Example 3. When I visit a new city, I take a photo of the street signs so I do not get lost.
Very smart. Example 4. I always take a photo of famous buildings like the Eiffel Tower to show my friends.
And example 5. I love to take a photo of my family smiling together in a new place.
Those are all excellent. Using take a photo instead of make a photo makes you sound so natural.
It really does. Now we want to hear from you. What do you take a photo of? Please share your answer with us. It's a great way to practice.
We love hearing from our community. And you know, John, thinking about these photos makes me remember a very funny travel story from my last trip.
Oh? Did you have a little problem with your English too?
I did. Even teachers make mistakes sometimes. Let's talk about it.
Today was wonderful, John. We learned how to use natural English for travel by making small changes, like saying, take a photo instead of make a photo.
It really does. I feel like my speaking confidence for international travel is growing already. It is just about learning those little common English collocations for tourists.
Exactly. When you feel comfortable, you feel much more relaxed. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be friendly and yourself.
Thank you, Emily. These travel English conversation tips are so helpful. Next time I am abroad, I will ask someone, could you please take a photo of me?
And they will understand you perfectly. You are learning how to sound like a native speaker abroad, one step at a time. Safe travels, John.
Aha, I see. Well, goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye. See you next time for more simple tips.
Congratulations on making it all the way through the lesson with Emily and John. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the subscribe button right in the center of your screen so you never miss our next lesson. You can also check out more videos right over here on the left or right side. We've picked them just for you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.